Hello. I'm going to make some greens. I'm always making greens. So I'm not going to show you my face because I haven't combed my hair. But I just wanted to make some greens. I raised my kids on greens. So I probably have several videos of greens. But there's different ways of making greens. You don't have to make them the same way all the time. I've added corn into my greens, and I've added, since this is really small, I have to cut it differently here. I've added jalapenos, I've added bell peppers. Let's see, what else have I added? Oops. I'm just going to go ahead and I want to make sure that all the cuts are the same, pretty much the same, evenly. So I've added a lot of, you could add a lot of different textures. This is going to be, I'm going to add some ham to this. So I had this ham in the freezer, and make sure your ham is not freezer burned. Thank goodness this one isn't. Yeah, this is good stuff. I love my ham. I rinsed it off. Put it all in there. Okay. And I'm going to add my okay, it's a little gooey, but I just rinsed it off. And that's what you want to do. You want to rinse it off. You don't want to throw it out. You just rinse it off and take the gooiness off of it. Alrighty. Yeah, I put my good luck bracelet on. That's my good luck bracelet. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and continue chopping this. The benefits of being of a mixed culture. Anyways, you can't help but keep your ideals open. Oh boy. Let's see. So I'm cutting this small enough. Turn that up. Okay. There we go. A little bit of fat in there. I mean, it's not going to hurt, but I try to get all the fat out. So I was watching this show, how this entrepreneur became a billionaire off of records. And so what she's doing, Monique is her name, and what she's doing is after she made her billion, what she's doing is she's giving back to a community. And what she's doing is she's giving back to a community of women of color, which I think is pretty cool. She went to Tacoma, Washington. You can watch her. Billionaire, Undercover Billionaire is the name of the show. And it shows how these billionaires, well, that's the only one that I watch. I mean, it just left a really good, you got to be careful. You see what I just did? Yeah. So it shows the, you know, how she changes her identity somewhat. And then make sure your fingers are pointed down like this when you're cutting. And keep your knife on the board. And sometimes I don't do that. I think because it's just habit. And then I have bigger things to cut, and I don't know. I just kind of, and I nick myself every now and then, and I don't like it because it hurts. So those are red bell peppers. Share this story about. Let me show you what I'm doing here. So I'm kind of sauteing it. I didn't have to add any salt because there's plenty of salt in the. So I'm going to lower it a little bit to a medium high. So there's plenty of salt in the ham that I'm using. And then let me toss this out. So this lady, I mean, it took me a couple days to watch it because it was the full episode on YouTube. And this lady, she's giving back to the community. She's really, really giving back. She's giving back to the women of color because of how society has treated women of color in general. I didn't know that they actually had a black mayor in Tacoma, Washington. And you know, every race has some kind of discrimination in them, in my opinion. Not that it matters. I was thinking about putting carrots in them, because my carrots are really old. You see how old these carrots are? Don't discard them. Just cut the tips off like this. This is like ugly carrots. And yeah, and she takes these, she went in there with $100 in her hand, and she decided to start $1 million company, and it's juicing, taking shots, you know, and then she had an evaluator come in there, and the evaluator had to determine if it was $1 million company. And so she was really hustling. Her concept was very similar to the concept that I had. Well, I can't find my peeler. So what I'm going to do is go over the sink and peel this. Well, actually, I'm just going to rinse them out. I can't find my peeler for some reason. It's hiding. It doesn't want to be used. So she had this $1 million concept. She's a young lady too, and a mother. And her concept was the same kind of concept I had when I was raising my kids. And she actually was able to do it because she had no disturbances. I guess she didn't have any disruptions. And I'm just peeling them. I found the peeler. It was hiding. So she had no disturbances. She had no disruptions. She went to Tacoma, Washington as a new person in the community. And she went to a church. The church gave her a couple days in a hotel, and then it was really cool. I'm going to deglaze this because it's starting to, I don't want to put any more oil in it. So the church gave her a place to stay, which was really cool. And then they hooked her up with somebody because she went in there with a program and an ideal. And then she ended up staying with the city council lady who was, you know, up for city council, and the lady didn't know her. And so she got involved in the community. She got a job at a local farmer's market. She got paid where she could eat. I mean, she literally had $100 in her pocket. And then she grew. Her business grew from there. It was such a good, I mean, good. It was beautiful. And then $100 in her pocket. Some people opened the doors for her. She went in there with an idea, and then she ended up getting involved, you know, with the political side, which, you know, which means that they're trying to grow the market into helping the minority community. And then she started, she ended up running, she got to the point where she started giving out samples, which is what I did with my tamales when I first started out. And she gave out samples, and then she, after she gave out samples, she ended up getting a truck. I think it's pretty cool. She got a truck, and I need some water. Where did my, see, I knew I was going to lose it. I said, I'm going to put this up where it doesn't get hurt. My measuring cup, oh, there it is. I said, but I know I'm going to lose, I'm going to forget where I put it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some water in there. I don't have any stock made, but that's okay. Because the flavors of the ham and the onions, which is actually umami, are going to give it a nice little flavor. But she ends up juicing, and she makes shots. And so her idea is to get it out through the community. Not only that, she went a step further, and she got with the doctor, and she had some volunteers where she gave shots where people were taking 3 shots a day. It decreased their inflammation. It decreased their inflammation. It decreased their immunity got better, and it decreased their LDLs, their diabetes, everything. I mean, the sugars, and I was just, and all she did was shots. These little shots of, and you know what, and this is, I hate to say it, white corporate, they want to keep you sick. And what she did was she introduced a wellness program to a community. I love it. Young lady, a young black lady. Oh, I just love it so much. A young black lady introduced this wellness program to a community. I absolutely fell in love with it. I couldn't stop watching the program. It popped up on my YouTube, and I said, what's this about? And I said, wow. They have another icon in America who is making a difference to our community, introducing a new product, a market that wasn't tapped. They all looked at her like she was nuts. Like, who is this lady coming in here? She got investors, people to believe in her, and they invested a small amount of money. And then, but she was on the go. She was dum. You know, that's jalapeno. I'm going to put jalapeno in my greens. So, I mean, you see the pretty colors in there. Okay. And my doctor told me to become vegan. You know, I might just become vegan. I know I love eating meat. I love fish. Maybe a pescatarian, because I do love fish. But she said vegan was best. So I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it. Because I can't seem to lose this weight. And when I was a vegan, I always felt good about my body. And meat is actually only used, is supposed to be used just for flavor. That's what meat is originally used for, just for flavor. So anyway, so she started this concept with $100 in her pocket. And she went and she did the legwork, and she was a one-woman show. I mean, really. I'm rinsing out I'll show you. I'm rinsing out my sink is dirty and stuff. I should have cleaned it up, but I'm trying to multitask. I'm going through documents, old documents from my father, and just kind of going through some stuff. But I thought about moving to Tacoma, Washington. And if they have need of people setting up business and shops there, then why not? I just don't want these crazy political people that are just about money and don't care about the people. I'm kind of tired of that too. I mean, I've seen it in nothing but greed and, you know, greed. And I don't think it's right. And and a lot of people have their belief system, but I think if you do something good for the community, then heck, I think it's a good thing. I wish I had a compost. Wish I had my own garden, my compost, and anyways, I would need help anyways, but who would be helping me? Everybody I know just wants to go to school and do easy stuff. And that's okay too. I'm more like, this woman was after my heart. Completely, she built an industry. I mean, she built a small empire within a small community, and she brought something for the community, not only economically, but also, what a smart gal. She brought not only something economically, but she brought something that was going to be good for the people. Good for the people. So, and these, I'm a baby boomer, but I got a little hippie in me. Well, not really. I grew up in that era. But I watched the hippie movement. I wasn't a hippie, but I was, you know, I always felt different, because I always felt like we should eat for health and not for just, you know, not for greed, eat for health because it's better for you. So what I'm going to do